Okay.
Lovely. Thanks, Ming. Over to you.
โอเค thank you ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะน้องๆทุกคนนะคะยินดีต้อนรับเข้าสู่สัมมนาของทางสถาบัน MPW นะคะซึ่งเดี๋ยวพี่ขอกล่าวประวัติคร่าวๆนะคะของทาง MPW ให้น้องๆได้ฟังก่อนเนาะเบื้องต้นก็คือMPW อะค่ะเป็นวิทยาลัยสอนภาษาที่มีชื่อเสียงจากประเทศอังกฤษนะคะซึ่งเปิดสอนใน3วิทยาเขตได้แก่ที่ลอนดอนที่เบอร์มิงแฮมแล้วก็ที่เคมบริดจ์เนาะในหลักสูตร GCSE นะคะ A Level แล้วก็ตัว Foundation ด้วยสำหรับน้องๆนะคะที่มีความสนใจที่จะศึกษาต่อในระดับมัธยมปลายนะคะหรือมีแผนที่จะศึกษาต่อด้านปริญญาตรีของมหาลัยที่เป็นท็อปใน UK นะคะซึ่งจะมีวิทยาลัยซึ่งในตัวของ PMW อะค่ะเขาจะมีโปรแกรม Foundation ที่เป็นท็อปของทางเป็น second world ท็อปของทาง UK เลยอะค่ะทางด้านอาร์ตและก็ดีไซน์เนาะซึ่งวันนี้นะคะเราจะได้รับเกียรติจากคุณเกรกนะคะเป็น Head of Creative Art เนาะ Course Leader ของทาง Course Foundation ที่ UAL ที่เป็นทั้ง Tutor แล้วก็ดูแลในส่วนของตัว Portfolio ด้วยนะคะโอเคถ้าพร้อมกันแล้วเนาะเดี๋ยวเราไปฟังคำบรรยายเป็น full detail จากคุณเกรกได้เลยนะคะ Hi Greg, please start the presentation whenever you are ready.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for this. Before I share my screen, I would like just to say two things. I guess you introduced me, but I'm teaching in the UAL Foundation course this year, and I'm the course leader on this. So I'm coordinating basically the other 6 teachers we have in the department, which we will talk a little bit later. And I'm also I'm the head of creative arts when it comes to A-levels and portfolio preparation here. So thank you all for coming today. I said earlier that it's a pleasure to have this session today because I think it's a good opportunity for all of you that you're here to listen to what we're looking in portfolios, successful portfolios. And instead of just talking, I will try to show you some successful examples and some portfolios, especially these here that we haven't accepted. And we will discuss it and I'll give you some tips probably and what we're looking for, what to avoid, etc. So hopefully by the end of this session, you will all have an idea what the successful portfolio is for UAL or any other university, because the rules are the same somehow, the entry requirements are the same. I don't know, I mean, you can stop me and ask any questions or you can keep them in the end. I don't mind, it's up to you. Feel free. And if I go fast, sometimes when I explain some artwork or whatever, if you think I go quite fast, just, you can say, Greg, what do you mean by that? Or what do you know, or if you disagree with me and you think one portfolio is really nice, or again, we can have a conversation and can try to explain why this portfolio is, we have this idea for that. So let me share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so let me minimize this. Okay, that's better. So basically, I introduced myself earlier. We tried to figure out basically what's a successful portfolio is. So just quickly, before I start this presentation, I would like to focus on those 8 stages that a lot of students, a lot of agencies, they ask usually these stages. So I go fast, but obviously we're going to focus only on the art portfolio preparation today. Maybe some other sessions, maybe we can, if you would like, we can talk about the personal statement or any other from those stages. So basically, of course, the first one is assess goals and aspirations. It's really important for students and their parents sometimes, because unfortunately the parents are involved a lot in that, to assess their goals and figure out what course they would like to go. And of course, whether they go for foundation or BA as another, again, goal that they have to do. Attend open days, of course, is really important to attend days, not because your friend is going to Central St. Martin's. It doesn't mean that it's for you as well, and it doesn't mean that you will be happy there. So choose a correct university. As you understand, everyone wants to go to Central St. Martin's. I mean, it's a renowned, it's a popular, it's a really good art college, but it's not for everyone. Yeah. So the personal statement is something that we help here in MPW, of course, and the art portfolio for me and from my experience all these years is the most important thing in the application process. Without good portfolio, you can't go anywhere. Stage 6 is a UCAS application completion. We help students with this as well. The portfolio submission, obviously we have, depending on the deadlines they have, whether it's early deadlines or the normal ones. And of course, the last one is the mock interviews and interviews. As you understand, the last 3 years, because of COVID, they didn't have actual interviews face-to-face. So they had these online ones. And having said that, last year, I don't know why, to be honest, but the foundation students, they didn't even have interview at all. So they got the places through based on their portfolios only, which I found it quite weird, to be honest, because it's important to see the person behind this portfolio. Because in the end, how do you know this student done this portfolio? You know what I mean? But now this year they go back to normal. They said so. We will have interviews, and they will like to meet with the students and see their work from close, face to face. So this is the stages there. Now, just a quick thing about researching on art universities, because again, as I said, there are so many art colleges in London, outside London, UK, different countries. So if you would like to go to open days, you can just go to www.opendays.com or through UCAS again. And of course, the complete university guide has all the information for all the addresses of the open days, all the information there. I mean, you can also do the old-fashioned way. You can telephone or email the specific university or college you want to go. And of course, speak to current or former students. That's really, really important. Students, they're coming back here to collect their work from previous years. And some of them, they're disappointed from their courses that went. I had a student last week. He said that he wasn't really happy with the Central St. Martin's Foundation, actually. And the reason is because they said they have so many students there. And it's quite chaotic, but really artistic at the same time. So some people, this freedom that they have there, they flourish and they do really well, but some others, they find it a little bit intimidated and a little bit this kind of environment is not for them. So that's why it's good to talk to the students or people that they have experience on that. Now, if you don't mind, I have like two, 3 slides only about the portfolio, and then I will share the most important part, which is the actual portfolios, the successful portfolios, and then I can put all these words into the portfolios later on. So, of course, as I said before, is the most important part for the application process. A portfolio is a collection of work that showcases student skills, personality, and creative potential. I repeat, personality. It's really important to show these unique ideas there. And of course, the more personal stories you show, the better. Now, some tips for the portfolio. A lot of students actually, they're coming and they ask, what should I include in my portfolio? Or how many pages, or how many pieces, or what materials? I mean, I guess there's no answer to this question because, as I said before, it's all about showing that you're a passionate student, art student, that you really want to succeed and do well in your university. So if you show that, whether you show 10 pages or 20 or 40, that's not the point. So it's all about quality, not quantity, as you understand. We want to see the best work, actually, and we're looking to see the best work in those portfolios, work that is kind of unique, original, somehow, personal and current. It's really important to show work that is recent, you've done it recently. Please don't include work that you've done it like 3 years ago, or you have a painting in your dad's office and you want to show it. That's not relevant. We need more current work and try to keep it interesting. Why we should remember you, for example, not someone else. It's all about these interesting ideas you have there. A lot of students, they copy they copy other artists, they copy Pinterest images and stuff. I mean, we all done that in the past. I'm not saying when we're students, but on your portfolio, try not to include copies. That's really, really important. I just remembered that now. And also, that's kind of old-fashioned idea of presenting portfolios, the copying previous artists like Leonardo da Vinci, for example. No, that's not what they want. That's kind of boring now. And we somehow, we want to see your passion into that, not the talent only, because as you understand, every single candidate, like all these 3,000 candidates in UAL every year, everyone has talent. So you're not there to show just talent, you show passion. That's really, really important. And of course they can see this, and that's why they have the interviews, the face-to-face, because you will have the chance to show them that. Yes, the final outcomes are really important to show, don't get me wrong, but the inspiration, the motivation, and somehow the thought process behind the final pieces are much, much more important or equally important. I will show you some examples of successful portfolios later on, how they tick this box, how they show this thought process behind the final pieces. We're also looking to see sketchbooks, of course, really, really important, and diaries, journals, basically, not photo albums, basically. And this is something that every single student we have to remind on that. A lot of students, and I will show you a sample later on, which is not as successful, unfortunately, they treat their portfolios as albums, as photo albums. So what do I mean by that? And of course, when I talk to my students every year, they understand completely what I mean, because it's like Instagram, basically. And believe me, they know better Instagram than me or, you know, anyone. So basically, they take 100 photos and then they choose the best 2 or 3 to add in their Instagram pages or in their photo albums. But this is not what we're doing here. We want to show the process of that. Yeah. The sketchbook is about showing your research, also the ideas and the progress, the development of those ideas. Also, it's about experimenting with different materials and different techniques, different processes. That's really, really important. Demonstrate drawing skills. Obviously, that's really important. Now that I remember, drawing skills is really important, and ideally observational drawings. So you draw from life, you have objects in front of you, you have some friends or a model in front of you, draw, paint from that. Observation drawings, not copies. Again, I'm going back to that. Try not to copy things from photographs and things. We're looking to see an individual story, basically, those unique ideas that we haven't seen before, and where they're coming from, where these ideas are coming from, and of course the development and the conclusion of that. That's really, really important. And the more unique those ideas are and more original, the better. This is how we remember students, basically, and they stand out. The presentation is something that you will see clearly in 5 minutes when I show you what a good presentation is. So, I mean, how important is a presentation? Of course, it's really important, because I have a portfolio later on that the student is really talented, but you will agree with me that the presentation just spoiled that. And for this reason, the student didn't get a place to UAL. There is no rules, actually, how to present your work, but I think your portfolio has to be clear, make sense, I guess easy to read as well for me as an examiner and others, and follow the same pattern and aesthetics if possible, from the first slide until the last one. So you can have one page that is black background, the other one is green, the other one is small images, the other one big, and just some is crowded, some is not. Just try to keep this pattern like a consistency there. It's easier for examiners, for people to read your portfolio like that. It has to have this, somehow it has to have this level of sophistication as well, and maturity, not like GCSE level. And that's why we try to avoid GCSE work from a few years ago. You have to show that you're mature artistically, and you have this sophistication, and you're ready to go for a university level, basically. PowerPoint or PDF is the best ways to present your work. In fact, some universities are really strict and really specific about that. So some of them, they want JPEG images, this resolution. Some others, they want PowerPoint, PDF. So I strongly advise you before you start preparing your portfolio, especially for foundation, just to ask or just literally go online and see that. But the PowerPoint and PDF, this is what we accept as well here. And it's the most common one. The best work and ideas should be in the beginning and the end of the portfolio, of course. I guess everyone knows that. And it's really important how you start, you impress them, and how you finish so they remember you. So please remember that. That's really, really important. The photos of the images, if you have 3D work, obviously you take photos like these pieces here, but try the quality of those pieces to complement the work and just be quite good resolution, basically. And of course, this is not a rule, but ideally we like to see white background, because white background means the work stands out, like this one here, for example, and I can see the work. But please don't go and just add black because it's more contrast. Sometimes it's too dark and it doesn't complement the work. Or please don't add colors, glitter, decoration, frames. No. Students that they do this, I mean, I personally, when I see the first slide, if I see decorations everywhere, then I say, oops, something goes wrong here. Most probably the student is trying to hide some weaknesses or is trying to take my eyes from the work into the border, but that's not the case. I'm looking to see the work, and please help me to see the work, not the things around that, not the background. So please remember this, and also keep the same direction, basically. So either you have it as a portrait like that, or as a landscape or portrait like the previous one, but keep it the same direction if possible. What to avoid? I think that's really, really important. I try to include like 2, 4, 6 bullets there, but there's so many things, and hopefully you understand from the unsuccessful portfolios later on, which I'm going to show you. Try to impress, but don't try to impress them with glitter or with unnecessary decoration, as I said before. Okay, don't show copies or tracing work. Yeah, try not to trace work and show it as yours, because if they find out and if they know the artist that you copy, etc., then it's a rejection and it's a no. Okay, don't show bad quality photos, as I said before, especially on your 3D work. Don't show someone else's work. No need to say that. It has to be your own work. And don't show everything. Please select the work. Select the best pieces. Please select the best pieces, the best sketchbook pages, the best process, and select. That's really important. And don't show overcrowded pages. So sometimes we say less is more. Okay, please remember that. A lot of students, they try to put a lot of things on all the pages, but this is not the case. Sometimes, as you can see, some pages like this one can have a lot of things because it's a story from where I inspire. I inspire from the V&A sculptures like here, and I made my own plaster. I done my own observational drawings from V&A, and then I've done a sculpture here. So it's a story that I'm trying to show. Then this page maybe has quite a lot, but then the next page is simple. So it's just the 3D piece that I've done, and then of course a different angle here with the beautiful shadows there. So try to show as less as possible, so you help me to see the actual work. And I believe you can appreciate these beautiful shadows here made out of this sculpture, because there is nothing else there. But if I start putting more things here, then I made this shadow disappear somehow, and this is a shame. Yeah. I hope this is clear. before I move to the next slides. So I have the next 5 slides. Basically, I'm not going to comment a lot because I include them on the actual portfolios that are sample portfolios I will show you. So you can see some portfolios here, pages that you can see the process as well, how they started and how they've done the final outcome there. So this is example for fashion portfolio, for example. This is the final outcome, a successful piece, really successful piece. And this student is in Central St. Martin's now. But before she goes there to create this beautiful piece, obviously she designed this. She even showed the patterns and the cuts, and then the different sample of colors she will use. This meant to be underneath, but then she decided to wear it without that, but the colors are quite there. And then of course, the final drawing before she creates that. And of course, sometimes students, they exaggerate a little bit and they show the process. You don't have to, I mean, but sometimes we like to see how you made that. Is it like with mud rod? Is it like plaster? Is it clay? It helps us to understand more the process. And this is all about what I said before. Is this idea of showing the thought process and the what's happening behind and the inspiration behind the final pieces. So I would like you, let me go back to, so I have here, I'm going to show you, let me start with this portfolio. So, screen. So I believe you can see the full screen now. So Serena is a successful portfolio student, and she applied for fashion and textiles, 2 different courses there. So she starts with a really successful piece. As you can see, it's like 8 layers with a painting there, and her title is Symbiotic Realities. Sometimes, as you can see, some work need an explanation, because if I don't explain this here, which I'm not going to go to details, of course, then it doesn't make any sense to me. So sometimes we need to know more about beneath and hidden. What's hidden here? I need to know a little bit more. Then some sketchbook preparation for these pieces. As you can see, it's all about this process behind the actual work. This is the one, this is a preparation actually for this piece that you've just seen. Now, of course, drawing skills, really important. And of course, the more materials you use for drawing, the better. You can see this is charcoal, this is pencil here, this is pen, ink pen, this is watercolor, this is gouache, and that's watercolor again. So, of course, we have to show off your skills, especially if you have skills like this student. We have to do that. But it's not only the skills. Remember, it's not just a talent. You say some personal stories there. You just show something that they haven't seen before, maybe, and show experimentation as well. So, Leads of Life, this is the title of these experimentations with clay, photography, stitching, beadwork, watercolor. Even she used a juice from a pomegranate and acrylic paint. So if you think about that, for me, this page is a really successful page. Yes, it's too much, but it helps me to understand that this student experiment with a lot of different things, and there's a story there. I'm not only painting with watercolor, as you can see here, to do this observational drawing, but I actually use the juice from the real pomegranate to do that. So it's quite interesting, and people, they haven't seen somehow things like that before, maybe. Now, structures, you can see some inspiration inspired by Ferguson's work, and then obviously she has to acknowledge that. So she showed the process of how she made her work. This is the page that I showed you before, folds and form. I hope I'm not going too fast. I just want to show you as much as possible, just to have the essence of this portfolio and the rest. This is the student actually, and you can see the wire structures and sculpture that she made. Remember, she's applying for fashion, and textiles as well. And you can see this is the wires, how she tried to bend them, beautiful photographs there. And of course, the drawings inspired by that, which is really, really interesting. Then remember what we said, the process and the thoughts behind this final piece. Because if you show just a picture of that, it's interesting, but I want to know more. I want to know how you made that, what difficulties you had, etc. So that's why we have to include pages from your portfolio. And I think, I don't know if anyone listening now is an artist or is an art tutor, or if you have experience in art portfolios, but I hope you appreciate that it makes more sense when you see all this stuff before this, no matter how good this is. In fact, for me, this is more important than just the final outcome. And this is all about that. Again, this is her father, and I don't want to go into details because obviously it's personal, but you can see the story here, and it's really personal. This is her own photographs of her grandparents, and this is a picture of her missing here, etc. So if you don't mind, I don't want to go into details on that, but again, she's showing some details and some, personal ideas there. So now, this is another project. This is a massive piece that she done, and we took a picture of that with little holes on black A1 paper. Again, development here, how she made this, and then the Morse code and different ideas. But look, really easy to read, how I start and how I go there. Really important. Some more ideas here. And of course, before she goes to do these beautiful live drawing models there, she asked some friends to pose for her. And of course, she's showing about body shapes, etc. And beneath the surface of that. Some photographs is really important. I forgot to say that before. This is her own photographs, by the way, and this is in a swimming pool. So they Photoshop the blue background to make it more to make it darker. And this is in the bathroom. That's a gold bathroom, by the way, a copper bathroom. They put leaves and they try to make this really, really dark but really interesting photograph of this person. Like, it's about this juxtaposition actually of the deeper ideas and feelings there. So photography is an important way to show your work. Some more ideas, obviously, showing the development of how you present the work and how you prepare that. This, again, I've shown you this in the beginning, but then you can see the process, how she made this from the resin thing, how she kneaded that, different samples. Really, really important to experiment with different samples. For example, am I going to use this color? Am I going to combine these colors together? How thick the thread will be, etc. So step by step before you go to this, of course, before you go to the final outcome. Really impressive piece, by the way. You can see, and I hope you appreciate the amount of time she spent to do this piece. This is another piece that she done, and although it looks really inspired by Japanese gowns, etc., but as you can see here, that looks really easy if you show that. But if you see the next slide, you can see that she actually she printed these flowers into the fabric, but then she photoshopped them, because if you zoom closer, you can see, like here, you can see that they're blurry, some of them, to show perspective. And of course, she explains this here. So I think this makes this piece even more interesting, because you can see some patterns are blurry, so it shows this movement, and some are not, like here, clear, blurry. So that gives this extra. And of course, I would remember this student more than someone else that just present a final piece. And that's some people, they just put it like, thank you for seeing my work, etc. So I don't know if anyone wants to ask something about this portfolio, or if you disagree with something, or you want me to clarify something before I go to the next one. And hopefully after the few portfolios on different, of course, pathways. You will understand more of what we're doing. So Maddie, I chose to show you this portfolio because that's graphic communication. For some reason, we had a lot of students last year doing graphic communication. Some years is more fashion. Last year, we had a lot of graphic communication in LCC, London Communication College. So now it's all about communicating ideas there. But before you go to the final stage, the final outcome, you show inspirations, you show your own photographs, because I don't want you to copy David Beckham, for example, and put it on your final piece unless there is a reason for that. Otherwise, you take your own photos, you choose which ones you're going to do, you do preparation, and then you have your final outcome from that, which again, through your graphic communication, you communicate and you show messages like this one here. And of course, little explanations. This is another idea related to the previous one. But of course, because it's graphics, as you understand, they use a lot of Photoshop there. And as you can see, they've done Photoshop purple colors there. This is another idea. And you see her final piece is something related to that. Actually, this is the 3 different posters as an idea of consumerism. But then you can see how she started this idea and how she developed it. She even said to me here, I am going to choose these 3 photographs to use for my final poster. And then she actually used these ideas before she goes there. Now, what is really important, and I want you to remember this, is this page here. We always have, I don't know if you are aware of this, but we always invite UAL to come here and go through the portfolios, especially for BAs, etc. So the first thing they say, which is really important, and I remember this, is try to take your work outside. Your poster, your sculpture. If you've done a sculpture, just try to Photoshop it in Hyde Park and show the potential for this sculpture if it was 2 meters long. Or obviously this is Photoshop. This poster is not actually on this bus stop, but if you have it here, it's okay. It looks nice. But if you actually put me in this sense, how this poster will look in the actual environment, on the tube stations, for example, or on the bus stations, etc., stops, then it makes more sense. And you show more passion and you show that you're more ready to go into university because you think as an artist, as a graphic designer in this point. Some more ideas. And of course, a lot of development before. This is about the background. What kind of background I'm going to use for these pieces, these posters here. And of course, this is the students' work. This is her. And you can see again, the development before she goes to artist research, her own work. Look how beautiful this page is, quite creepy for some people, but really interesting to see how she started these ideas, which images she used with the mask, whether it's on the side or on fans, and then slowly, she uses Photoshop to go to the final stage. And of course, this is the posters. And this is how they would look in the natural environment, in a big poster, like next to graffiti or next to that. So before and after, especially for graphics, is really important. Otherwise, we always have this question, but why you done this poster if you don't communicate this in the actual work outside? So this is what this student tried to do. So that's a really successful graphic communication portfolio. Let me show you textiles, because I'm sure some of you here are interested in textiles and fashion. So textiles and fashion is all about experimenting. Before you create something with textiles, like this piece here, whether it's flat or 3D, you experiment with different ideas. Please remember that. It's all about creating little samples. This is like 10 by 10 centimeters, little samples before you go and start building, whether a big piece, a gown, installation, or a textiles piece. Now this is made out of textiles. like filled with materials, but then you can see the process there. It's all about isolation. As you can see, look the presentation of how interesting this page looks like. And it's easy for me to read because I can see, if I want to read, I can read some ideas there. I can see some of your own photographs. I can see some samples, 3D, and of course, this inspiration here and the net, this kind of stocking that she used, the materials that she used for this page as well. Also, look how nice it flows. It's really artistic, really interesting, especially when you do portfolios. Try not to present only square images. I know I said in the beginning there's no rules, and in fact there's no rules in presentation, but I also said keep it interesting. And for me, this, and I hope you agree with me, this is interesting. Interesting is when you crop out some images and you try to overlap them with or behind this square here, because if you present only square or rectangle photographs, as you understand, they look like soldiers next to each other, and it's kind of boring to see. So try to keep it interesting. Now, this is an experimentation of these ideas. Yes, we kept it like that, squares next to each other, but we still cropped some of them to show this idea outside. And of course, here we develop this further into these ideas that she's going into. This is her own installation that she done. You can see how big this is compared to the door there. And then some more ideas to develop. This is about feminism. These are little sculptures that she made because we encourage students to do 3D pieces, not just, and use different materials, not just textiles, because they apply for textiles, especially if they stick things on later on. And that is it was an inspiration, by the way, to do this textiles piece here, which some people, by the way, they find it crazy. And I think there is some craziness here. There is some edginess here. It's quite edgy, but why not? You show character, you show personality, you show sometimes fun also is important. Keep it kind of interesting and fun, not just boring and just, you know, I don't want to see this next. So keep it interesting. Then some more samples here, more ideas, overlapping, smaller and bigger images. And of course, again, it's really important to show this in the real environment. So how that will look if someone is wearing that. Her own images, really important. More samples. This is inspiration from tribals and different cultures. But then look how beautiful she added these drawings, these ideas that she has there to develop further. And of course, this textiles piece here, you can see is quite big, but I think what is important, and this is what we advise the student, is to actually hang it. Literally it took ages, but I think you appreciate that. It looks really nice. It looks like a spider web on the actual environment instead of having that in the art, on the art table, in the art studio. So examiners appreciate this a lot when they see that. And this is a textiles portfolio. I want you to see an animation portfolio because this is quite special and it's kind of specific when you do animation. Before I start, I want you to remember that animation is all about drawing. It's about drawing. If you're not good in drawing, if you're not good in academic drawing, then that's not the course for you. And you can see what I mean. That's just showing off drawing skills there. But you still need to show the preparation, not just final outcomes. The inspiration, important. Again, different materials, watercolor drawings. Successful candidate in UAL doing animation is second year actually now. Sync. Experimentation and abstract ideas before she goes to the final. Again, observational drawings. This is literally from live in the art room. But look how interesting the background. These are beautiful outlines in the background. The process, how she scratched and how she done this etching on this piece here. She even sprayed, so she done this stencil kind of art, and she sprayed and she showed the process of that. And I think you appreciate and you understand better how these pieces were made. Stenciling is important for animation. Different patterns here, and her own, this is her mother, how she made her portrait. This is her, different materials. Look how many materials she used before she goes into the final outcome. Of course, really important, this illustration. This is her own illustration of how animated creatures can become. Spatial, interior design important. Using digital art, of course. That's digital drawings again. This is her own characters. So she's showing her own characters there as well. And that's unfinished works and drafts that she made like animation. She was really, really passionate about this course, and she got a BA offer from A levels, actually, the student. And this is again how we started this and how I've done the tonal exercises there and how she made the final outcome. And that's another one there. So that is an animation project. And I have one more before I show you some unsuccessful, probably, project, and you can see what I mean by that. That's Rainhill. Rainhill is studying his first year interior design. Some students, they like this course a lot. The interior design is something between architecture and fine art somehow. So this is photographs of one of her trips that she did in Egypt. And I want to say that because when she came back in Christmas and she showed me these photographs, I was so inspired from those photos. And I said to her, why don't we use these beautiful patterns that the sun creates, this sunny day there in Egypt, to do something from that. And it's all about, again, showing your own photographs. So we crop out these patterns. You can see we draw these patterns here, and then we cut them out, inspired by these photos here. And we actually turn this, we made it like a cylinder, and we put it there, and we created like an interior tube kind of thing, because that's a tube station. This is a photograph of hers, by the way. Then we done a lino cut print. It's another technique that is interesting to show. And then this paper that you see here, actually, this is an A4 card. I mean, to be honest, anyone can take an A4 paper and crop and cut with a knife these shapes. It's not, you know, it's not something complicated or really harsh to do. But the reason that she got a university offer is because she, inspired by that, she took this actual A4 paper and she did this. So as you can see, we hung this card, this paper, with a fishing wire, which obviously doesn't show, and then we projected from here. We projected with a mobile, just torch and the light, and then we created these amazing shadows, which it takes us back to this photograph here. And so, as an examiner, when I see this boring cut out white paper to go into this idea, then I think that's impressive. And I say this student has potential, because just with an A4 paper, she created this amazing idea. It's all about that. It's all about this. And then she continued that. This is a photograph in a London tube. And then she put her own photographs with Photoshop, because remember, she applied for interior design. She put those patterns there. More ideas here. This is a bridge in London, and then she crop out to create her own ideas. Development before she does the final pieces. Remember, I showed you this sculpture in the beginning, this one here. So this is the response from that, and this is a development and the stages. And now it makes more sense, as you can see. These are the beautiful, beautiful photographs, and those are the final outcomes. But we still need the process of that. Please remember that. Again, this is digital drawing, of course, but stages with hand drawings of that. And this is a piece that is behind me, actually. Maybe you can see that later, that she created, and she put a little figure there to show the scale. That could be an amazing building in Dubai, for example, or a beautiful, gigantic sculpture in Hyde Park with little, people playing there, etc. This is how you need to show your final pieces, show the potential of that piece, if you understand. And some more ideas here. So this is the interior design, and one architecture, actually, before I finish this part. So because a lot of students, they apply for architecture, and in fact I personally help them because I have background in architecture as well, and fine art. So this is the final outcome, but of course we show the process, the inspiration, my own photographs of that, what colors I'm going to use, etc. And then slowly we try to build this community area, and then from different angles, beautiful presentation, and of course the actual final piece, which is like A1 size, like 70 centimeters, 80, and then from different angles. Remember, photographs should be perfect. It should, if I zoom, I can't do this now, but if I want to zoom to see detail, I can do that. Yeah, that's really, really important. So close Karen. I have this student here now. I'm not, if you don't mind, I'm not going to share the name. The reason is because this student, it was here, the name, but obviously I took that off. This student wasn't the best talent, I would say, in that year, but he got all the offers for architecture, and you will see why. Now, you can see scribbles and just sketches, but he wasn't, between us, he wasn't really good in academic drawing. And in architecture, they appreciate when they see academic drawings. But because he managed to show interesting, unique ideas, he got a place. So please remember that. It's not only the talent, it's other stuff. Now, if you think about that, this is just A4 paper, stuck together and spray, and this one here, you see where I'm coming from later on. This is just a stapler, the staples that you put in the staple gun and staplers here. But he tried to create a tower just made out of this. Now you can see the drawings, it's not the best, but I appreciate that he tries to show me the process of how I'm going to go into that. And I've never seen this before, actually, a tower out of staples, and that's quite interesting to see. And look at this. Really interesting ideas there. Now, this, again, a tower that he created, and of course, a process of how to do that. Photoshop some of the ideas. And then this thing is a chicken wire. You know, this kind of chicken wire thing. So he cropped a lot of them, and he created this installation, which they could be futuristic towns, etc. But beautiful ideas as well. This is a cylinder, and of course, she showed it in an environment like shadows. This is a preparation for an interior structure. You can see how big he wanted this installation to look like. And of course, this is the making of it. If you think about that, this is just a box with just folded paper stuck together, but then, and you can see the process, but then look how it looks from literally from the little door. We took the camera in and we took this amazing photograph, which this is all about that. It's about inspiring others to see your work. It's not what materials you use. This is the little door actually that we put the camera in. And then it's kind of boring when you think about that, but then potentially interesting ideas. So this student got the places because he showed that if you give me a task, even with an A4 paper, I can do something. I can prove that I can do something there. So please remember that it's the potentials that you show.
Hey, Greg, it's David.
Yes.
I'm just conscious of the time. So
Okay.
it's all good. I think if people were okay to stay on, no problem at all. But
Okay.
the original time was 1 hour. So I'm just conscious of, allowing time for questions in particular. I think we have quite a few students and parents.
Yes.
So
would you like to have some questions? And if we have some time, maybe I can show you one unsuccessful portfolio.
Yeah.
I have two, but I can show one of them.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that. That sounds like a good example as well. So yeah,
yes.
I think if people, Ming, if we can just say in Thai, put in any questions in the chat, but it would be good to go over an unsuccessful portfolio as well. So I think that's a good idea.
So yes, hi. Let me stop sharing.
ค่ะน้องๆท่านไหนมีคำถามไหมเอ่ยสามารถพิมพ์ได้ในแชทบ็อกซ์เลยนะคะหรือว่าจะเปิดไมค์ถามเจ้าหน้าที่โดยตรงได้เลยค่ะหรือว่าน้องๆท่านไหนมีคำถามเกี่ยวกับทางด้านทุนการศึกษานะคะหรือว่าวิชาที่เราอยากจะเรียนในปีหน้าสามารถพิมพ์เข้ามาในแชทบ็อกซ์ได้เลยนะคะตอนนี้เลยค่ะ
if someone can translate to me, then I can answer this question.
Yes,
no,
sure.
Yes, sure. We got one question. And the student asked, what is the requirement, the GPA for this course?
What the entry requirements for what? For the foundation here in MPW?
Yes.
Okay. Basically, they need to have ideally 6.0 in IELTS, especially if they're international students, is really important. And of course, experience and maybe some background in art is really important. And how do we see this? How do we recognize that? Through the portfolio. I personally am the one that I'm in charge for portfolios. And the first thing, before we start any process, like on the application process, the most important thing and the first thing is send me, on my email or on WeTransfer, your portfolio. And then if your portfolio is successful and is similar to what we've seen before, then I respond back. I say, well done, congratulations. You go next to the next step, which is obviously you have to do the IELTS test and the interview with an SLT member, etc. Yeah. I hope I answered your question on that.
In case if student cannot meet the requirements, do you have the professional course for the student?
Yes. Just to say this quickly, this year we had 44 applicants, 42 applicants actually. I accepted 14 portfolios. That's 1/3 actually. And the reason is because we agree with John and the SLT members that because it's the first year we do that, we didn't want to open like 30 students because it would be too much for us, especially the rooms that we have here. Also, we wanted to bring results as a first year. So there are 9 of those students, we gave them the chance to come back as A-level 1 year or portfolio preparation. So we do have some students that are back here and they prepare the portfolios. So I usually, if I reject the portfolio, usually I give them the option either to do 1 year A-level or to come to do a portfolio with 2 A-levels. And then we sit down together, and what we've done today, for example, this seminar, we help them to prepare a good portfolio, and then they apply either for foundation or BA, straight to BA, because they can go straight to BA after that if the portfolio is successful. So that is an option. But I'm afraid if you're not ready, if your portfolio is not ready for this year foundation, then that's not possible. I mean, that's a rejection, I guess.
Sorry, this is Sharon. Maybe I can add a little bit more information regarding to the entry requirements. So usually our official English requirement for foundation is IELTS 5.0, but most of our students actually already achieve 6.0 because this is what university usually required. And then regarding to academic requirement, ideally, we really want to see students who have already complete Matayam 6, which is equivalent to complete high school or completing A-levels in the UK with okay, good grade. Of course, portfolio does matter. It counts a lot. So good portfolio it really helps. However, if students has only completed GCSE qualification or Matayam 5 or equivalent, but they can show us a very good talent from the portfolio, then Greg is happy to consider as well, as long as student is 17 years old plus.
Thank you. I was about to say that the age is really important. Yeah, please remember that, because I mean, even UAL, if you just go on UAL website, you can see they say you have to have a portfolio, you have to be 17 years old, blah, blah. But in the bottom, it says we accept exceptional students. So we do the same here. If I see an extremely talented student, of course, I would like to work with him or her. That's not a problem. But the age sometimes is a problem because they need to have this level of maturity to go into BA after. Otherwise, they will struggle in this sense. So it's not just talent, but we welcome any student in this sense.
Okay, thank you
And
very
also,
much.
Yes,
Yeah,
and also
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
I can give some alternative options for students because UAL has quite high entry requirement regarding to the portfolio requirement, as this is a very practical course and it is UAL accredited. So we have to be very selective because UAL are a very good university. However, if students, for example, they submit application to us and then unfortunately their portfolio is not successful for UAL, then we have plenty of options for students as an alternative. If student is just maybe considered as slightly missed and their portfolio is okay, but they need more portfolio support, then Greg will suggest students to do 1 year art portfolio preparation course at MPW London. This is a course that we have been run for so many years with a great success. In last 3 years with with the art portfolio preparation course, we actually sent over 50 students to UAL University through this program. And yes.
And sorry, Sharon. Not only I think we're quite proud of this course because a lot of students they go straight from A level into BA as well. So they because the portfolio is so strong, they don't even accept them for foundation. They give them the chance to go straight to BA. So that is quite important.
Yes. And then art portfolio course is basically a 1 year A level with only 2 art A level subject plus some portfolio preparation time, around 6 hours per year. So student will have super small class size focusing on a week. Sorry, yes. To assist students with the portfolio support and then building a good portfolio for university application, because UAL University, they can accept I think 80% of the degree subject major, they can accept students with only 2 A-level subjects. That's with true. Good grades. However, for some specific subject like architecture or maybe jewelry design, some of the UAL degree, they do require 3 A-level subject. So every time when we accept student, we will always check for the students first. And then otherwise, if student really not good enough on the portfolio or he definitely need more help on academic or on portfolio, then we will definitely recommend student for 2-year A-level program, which is a really, really good program at London. So they have actually quite high successful rate to progress to UAL or the good arts university as well. So we can always provide alternative. It depends on the professional opinions from Greg and students' current level on the arts, on English, on academics. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. If you have other questions, I guess it was clear, the presentation thing. I mean, if you have like 5 minutes, I can show you a portfolio that wasn't successful, maybe, so you have an idea, and hopefully you don't do the same mistake that those students done. Do I have like 5 minutes? Can we do that?
Yeah. no,
Sorry, we got one last question from
yes, yes.
student. Yeah, he asked if it's guaranteed that if they study the UAL foundation, is guaranteed 100% to
Yes.
progress to the UAL.
For BA,
Yes.
well, even UAL, if you go to their website, they say that it's quarantine, but not the course you want. For example, in the past, a lot of students, they were going to foundation, yeah, and then because it was an easy way to go from foundation and general holistic foundation into Central St. Martin's because they already have the foundation. But the last years, they stopped that. So if you apply for foundation for BA and they think your portfolio is not fashion related, then they will say you go for 3D design or you go for this course. So they ask you to go to the course that they believe is better for you, or is not as popular maybe. So it's not a quarantine that you go to fashion after portfolio. It's kind of quarantine that you would go for a BA, but not the actual course that you may want to go, your first option basically. And that's not because it's us here, it's from the UAL itself. A lot of other universities accept the foundation portfolio, of course, because even the one we have here, because it's accredited and it's awarded from UAL. But as I said, it's depending on the interview as well and your portfolio. If you go there and you show them that you're a really good student and you're a good candidate, then you will get a place. Having said that, as Sharon said, the last 6 years at least, every single candidate we have here, they get places at the foundation or BA. And in fact, 12 students last year, they got straight to BA from A levels, not even foundation. So hopefully this year we have 9 candidates for UL Foundation. We're doing 9 candidates. So hopefully, fingers crossed, all of them, they go to the first option and get good results. And I will let you know next year, hopefully. But this is situation at the moment.
Okay.
So to conclude, maybe I would say UAL MPW UAL Foundation, we can't really guarantee that students can progress to the degree that they want at, for example, UAL Central St. Martin. This is something that it is restricted by UAL University. It's not our policy. It's actually if you apply to UAL University, their own foundation, they can't always guarantee you, isn't it? So it really depends on students' academic, English, and portfolio at the end. So students will apply to UCAS.
And the interview.
Yes, an interview, very important. Of course, we have teachers to assist you students to do the interview preparation as well. However, at the end, in January, students will then apply to UCAS, and then they apply to 5 universities. So they have equal chance, the same as A-level students. They submit portfolio to 5 universities, 5 courses, and then they will know whether they can get an offer based on their portfolio. Yes.
Yeah, and Sharon, you reminded me that we have a student, please allow me not to say the name this year, one of the 9 students, probably, maybe you know that, Sharon, the student. So she got an offer from, she prepared a nice portfolio last year. She got an offer, a BA offer for fashion, but guess what? Because her English was 50.0, so they gave her 2 conditions. She's holding the place for next year. She paid £4,000 to keep the place for next year, September 2023, but they gave her 2 conditions. The one condition is to pass a foundation level 3 or 4 foundation art and get IELTS 6.0 from BA. So this is why she's with us this year. We're going to try to pass, obviously she needs to do this foundation, and if she passed the foundation with us, and she passed the IELTS exams, then she will have the place. So as you said, it's important to some courses BA, you need to have distinction or you need to pass or merit. It's not just, you know, depending on how successful and how popular this course is. So that
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. น้องๆท่านไหนมีคำถามเพิ่มเติมไหมคะมีไหมเอ่ยสามารถพิมพ์แชทเข้ามาได้เลยนะคะ
Ming, I'd love it if we could just ask in Thai, do we have any students who just have some general questions about the portfolio, or maybe they want to share what they're studying? So it might be textiles, it might be, drawing and sketching.
Okay.
Given the content that Greg has kind of covered today, I'd love to just hear from, I'm going to pick on some names, but there's a couple, Patronet, Parawan, I think there's Dumpuan. So anyone who wants to just put in the chat, they don't have to come off mute if they don't want to. If they do want to come off mute, that would be amazing as well. And they can speak in Thai. It's okay.
Okay, sure. มีน้องๆคนไหนต้องการที่จะแชร์เกี่ยวกับพอร์ตโฟลิโอที่เรากำลังทำอยู่ไหมคะหรือว่าแบบสนใจทางด้านไหนเป็นพิเศษสามารถถามได้เลยนะคะหรือพิมพ์ไว้ได้เลยค่ะเดี๋ยวพี่แปลให้เป็นภาษาอังกฤษเดี๋ยวพี่ถามเจ้าหน้าที่ให้ค่ะมีไหมเอ่ยที่กำลังทำพอร์ตโฟลิโอแล้วสงสัยว่าของเราดีแล้วหรือยังมีไหมคะมีไหมเอ่ยน้องๆต้องการที่จะแชร์ตัวพอร์ตโฟลิโอที่เรากำลังทำอยู่อะค่ะ
Are there any questions?
It looks like they're very shy.
Yeah, I think the student is a bit shy to ask here.
I hope they got the message. I hope they understand and they got this feeling how the portfolios will look like. And I'm sure some of them, they already know this and they're working, and hopefully they're working towards this, and I inspire them a little bit today to go and add on their portfolios if they haven't thought about some ideas or some tips, etc. Until they think of any other questions, I have this portfolio here just to show you. Obviously, the names are not there, but this is exactly what you should avoid. Don't write and just create something boring. For me, this is more like a presentation for a business company, whatever, not an art portfolio. And also, this is not her own work anyway. So why you showing? I mean, all you done here, I'm quite harsh, but that's a reality. You just crop some images, some black and white images from the internet, and you just put them down. That's not your work. So why I should give you the chance to do here? And I also look at this. This is more like business, economics, maths, not art. So this is a portfolio that I rejected this year, actually, and I hope you understand why I've done that. There is some preparation, but again, for me, it's boring, simple as that. I don't see a lot of skills, and even the presentation is just basic. Not a lot of exploration. This is just, that's one of them. Then I'll show you another one just to have an idea. This one, this is all about final pieces again, which is not, as you can see, drawing skills are not that developed for the foundation course. And it's just random things which doesn't make any sense. What is this? Is that your little brother's feed? Is that yours? Is this from the internet? I don't understand, and I want to see the process of that. Copying Michelangelo's, why? I want to see the students' work, not Leonardo da Vinci's stuff. So, and then you jump from the hand to the feet, and then from that you go to tracing Michelangelo's Capella Sistina, and then a flower, not really, and then a horse. Just, you understand that there's no consistency here, and then flowers again, and then a picture of her on the horse.
Yes, sure.
It's a little bit confusing for someone to see.
Okay, sure. I think we got one more question.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there portfolio review with UAL administration?
What do you mean? I don't understand what you mean, the question.
One second, please.
Portfolio review by who and when? I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not quite clear, Jabari, but I think
Okay.
they're talking about
อธิบาย
maybe
เพิ่ม
doing.
เติมได้ไหมเอ่ยคะที่น้องถามมา
We
My
do
question
yes.
for like via Zoom link or something, like other colleges have portfolio review before application, so like they will see what your skills are. Or
No, unfortunately, we don't do this. The reason is because we follow the same procedure as UAL, because we are accredited by them, especially this year. That is our first year. We basically, there are so many videos online if you go to UAL, and hopefully this one that we've done today, but hopefully we prepare some more in the future this year, because it's our first year. And if there is so much guidance there, which I think is more than enough that you students will understand and create their portfolio. But then you apply to us or other colleges or UL, and then it's either yes, you are ready this year, or no, you're not ready. And we advise you, of course, an alternative option, as Sharon said before. But we cannot, as you understand, we cannot review portfolios or just show me half of the portfolio and advise you, because A, it takes time to do this, and B, no offense, I have to say that I've done it few times previously, and actually I've done it last year, and those students, they developed the portfolio, and guess what happened to them? They applied to UL and they went straight there from BA. So as you understand, I can spend the time here for students that are not MPW students, just to, to give them some master classes like that. It's not fair on our students as well, because we have like students here that they apply for the same courses, and they pay MPW, so I'm here for them. So we do review portfolios, but students that they're already registered for MPW. I hope it makes sense.
Yep. I have just one last question.
Yes.
About how to apply for a scholarship.
Basically, I'm not sure if you can apply through academic subjects, but we do have scholarship through art, your portfolio. I'm not sure how much the percentage is, to be honest, but you can, I mean, Sharon, I don't know if you know about this, but you can ask the MPW college, the ones that are in charge for scholarships, and they can tell you. But we have one this year, actually, that got scholarship. I don't know the percentage though.
Yes, I can answer with this question because I work in the admission team. So
Excellent.
basically, we will be able to consider students for some scholarship, but it really depends on students' academic, portfolio, and interview performance.
Yes.
We can give up to, I would say, 20 to 25% tuition fee. Like percent of discount on scholarship, but it really depends. I never guarantee that we can give high scholarship, because we are not that kind of school that we give out a lot of scholarship and then kind of buying student. We are not, but we are very keen to look for very good quality students, and if it is needed, so we are happy to give some scholarship to support your studies. But it really depends on your interview and how's your portfolio and your English level, something like that. But yes, you have the opportunities to get the scholarship.
Excellent. And this is the last. And this is the last portfolio, just is like 6 pages. Again, I rejected this student, and I guess you understand why. First of all, the first image is like on the side. So why you didn't bother to turn it so you make it like a landscape, so it helps me to see better the work. This shows no passion, no interest. And how can I continue? But I did continue, and I have to see all the portfolio. And you can see from this random homeless, I guess, person, we go to this thing which I don't know what this is, and I don't know the connection for the previous one. And then suddenly we go to something that is photographs. I guess it's his own photographs, but I'm not sure. And then we have this page here, again, not a lot of information. And then this, which is an artist, I believe, research, and then urban photography, and then jumping to butterflies and flowers. And that's the last page. So as you understand, I hope you appreciate that I'm not harsh. It's confusing, basically. So that's basically what you try to avoid. That's all I had to say today. Please try to keep it unique, personal, original, and try to impress us not only with your talent, because everyone has talent. It's all about these ideas, something that you show me potential there, that if I give you the opportunity as a university, as a college, then you will succeed and you will take these tasks and take them further and make them bigger somehow. That's all about this.
Okay, thank you very much. น้องๆท่านไหนมีคำถามอีกไหมเอ่ยมีไหมคะพี่มิ่งโอเคถ้าน้องๆไม่มีคำถามเพิ่มเติมนะคะพี่ขออนุญาตปิดงานสัมมนาในวันนี้นะคะขอบคุณน้องๆที่ทุกคนนะคะที่เข้ามาจอยงานในวันนี้เนาะแล้วก็ถ้าเรามีคำถามเพิ่มเติมเราสามารถติดต่อพี่คอนซัลท์นะคะถามได้ถามพี่ได้เลยเนาะแล้วก็ไว้เจอกันโอกาสหน้านะคะ So I think we have no more questions from the student. So I would like to say thank you very much for your time and very informative information.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm about to close this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Looking forward to see nice portfolios soon.
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you very
Thank you for
much,
great.
Thanks,
everyone.
Ming.
Have
Thank
a
you,
good
Sarah.
day.
Thanks.
Weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.